pretty sure you guys know who we're here to see, right? Some of them, some voices, actually a lot of voices. Some know him as Pete, the Tasmanian Devil. No? Anyone? Tasmanian Devil?
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck. And some know him as Tigger. And of course, the loving bear, Winnie the Pooh. So, without further ado, help me welcome Jim Cummings.
Thank you. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I hope you'll put up with me and tolerize me. Thank you. So, what do you think, Sam? You am?
Well, I think it's a good crowd. We do have a mic, so please go ahead and start lining up if you have a couple of questions. I'm going to go ahead and ask one or two, kind of get the ball rolling, and then again, we'll just open it up to the audience. Sound good? All right.
Superfluous.
First question.
Yes.
So one of my favorite characters is the Tasmanian Devil, right? Because he doesn't say much, but when he does, he makes a point.
Yes, he does.
The evolution of Taz as he's come along. Where do you see yourself in the sense of maybe you yourself have somehow evolved with him?
Gosh, that's way too deep. Next question. Geez, I don't know. Well, Taz is, you know, I joke around because I'm Winnie the Pooh and the anti-Pooh. That would be Taz. And so, you know, they're both pretty sacred to me. But, you know, he's not a bear of very little brain. He's a Tasmanian devil of no brain. So there you have it. And that's why he's so eloquent. And one of my favorite things when we did the series was every now and then they would, you know, Art Vitello, the mad genius who did the show, he would have Taz. Okay, then he'd pull off his head, and it would be a drawing of me. How'd that do? Was that okay? You know, and it was in the show, and it was some of the coolest stuff I thought. Never did that with Pooh. You won't see me pulling Pooh's head off. That would traumatize children. We can't do that. So, there are a few sacred cows or bears.
And another interesting note. So, for the Lion King, not sure a lot of people know this.
I don't know what I just said. So, haven't heard of it, but go ahead.
Many of you know Scar, Jeremy Irons. When he was singing Be Prepared, he hurt his vocal cords. And my understanding is that you stepped in.
Why, yes. I said things like, let me step in. No, he sang the song all the way through. And I can't tell the story in public, but I'll tell you guys. It was, you know, basically, I mean, he's an amazing actor. He's insanely good, you know. But, you know, it wasn't the best singer in the world. And I was already there. My friend Jess Hartnell, we all know Jess Hartnell, Animaniacs. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. And we were there, and we had sung Hakuna Matata to give Ernie and Nathan, because we're kind of singers, and they were, you know. And we sang Hakuna Matata, and yes, I did write the fart verse. Thank you. And they just kind of drove around in their car listening to it on cassette, which was an ancient sound reproduction device. You put it in your car. And they listened to it for like a month or so that they get it in their head, they know it like Happy Birthday. So they said, well, you know, we got Jess here. Let's, hey, anybody want to stick around and take a swing at Be Prepared, the villain song? And you can't beat you gotta love a villain song. And I'm Winnie the Pooh, but I sing a lot of villain songs. I don't know, figure that. But anyway, I stuck around and I gave it a swing, and they said, okay, that you don't suck. which is Hollywood speak for, you've got the job. And so yeah, I got to hang my head on that one. And you you get to laugh at the end of the song, like proper villain.
That was your laugh.
Thank you for asking.
All right, we're gonna go and throw it back to the audience.
Hey, hello. Now, listen, you have to say your name and your favorite dessert. Oh, see, no. Whoa.
Okay, my name is Kai.
I'm sorry, that's wrong.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Kai, and I guess my favorite dessert is just chocolate chip cookies. They have to be kind of chewy, though.
Yeah,
Not
chewy.
hard, not soft.
Yeah, otherwise you gotta dip them.
Yeah, true, definitely. Okay, so my question is, so you voice all the male characters in the Army Men games.
Oh, yeah.
How did that come about?
It was about 3.5 hours. Oh, how did it? No, honestly, I don't know. I used to have always had a reputation as, you know, a guy who has multiple voices, like, you know, and I do whole scenes with myself. There's this one when in Pooh where I'm the beaver, and I'm Pooh, and I'm Tigger, and gosh, there was another character, I can't even think of him right now, but I was like 4 people on the screen for like 5 minutes, so they all know that I'm schizophrenic. And so, you know, you just kind of, I don't know, you get known for doing that sort of thing. You can talk to yourself, and I remember there was Sarge, and I can't even remember all their names, but it was a lot of fun. And the trick is just make one, you know, put one higher voice guy, then a lower voice guy, and then a higher voice guy, and then a lower voice guy. So it sounds like more than one person, and so, and we were. Thanks. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh, nice shirt.
Thank you.
Look at that. Are you the terror that flaps in the night? I've heard of you.
Yes. My favorite ice cream or dessert is chocolate ice cream. And speaking of,
But what is your name?
It's Daniel.
Oh.
I met you a few minutes ago before coming up here.
Yeah, I know, but these guys don't know. We're all trying to get to know you.
My question is, what is your favorite I'm the terror that flaps in the night quote from Darkly?
Oh, boy, that's a good one. A lot of them I can't say because, you know, kids. And gosh, I don't know. There was one about something about being the floaty that will not flush no matter how many times in the toilet bowl of crime. And they said, okay, well, we're not going to use that. And then we ended up with something else. So, but yeah, it was, whenever people ask that, I tell a little miniature true story on myself. We did like 120 episodes, I think. And we're about 6 or 7 episodes in. And it was always, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the wicked spirit that pecks at your nightmares. It was always something different. I am Darkwing Duck. And the script said, and I wish I kept it, I am the terror that flaps in the night. Doesn't matter what I'm going to write here. Jim's going to say something else anyway. So yeah, that's
Thank you so much.
you.
That's fabulous.
Here we go. All right. Who are you cosplaying?
Crib Redman from Ruby.
Oh.
So my name's Nathan. I'm actually trying to get into pro voice acting myself.
And
Sorry, what? Oh, I'd like to do anime voice acting.
Name and
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
jeez, man.
Either chocolate chip cookie dough, ice cream, or just cookies.
Oh, okay. You're forgiven.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You may now ask your question.
Okay, so throughout all these years, you've been able to keep your voice like sounding amazing. Like obviously today, that's definitely proof. The new Chip and Dale movie sounded great too. So like,
Oh, thanks.
how would you say like is a good way to preserve your voice for like all the years to come?
Well, I have every cigarette I've ever smoked in my hand. You know, and everybody tells me that's a good one. Because I do have a lot of friends who have smoked it, and it's no problem at all. They all sound great. You know, that's what I mean. So, and then, you know, as a kid and as an adult, I've always been singing. I always sang, you know, and you always kind of take care of your pipes, and you know when to stop, you know when to, you know, you're gonna hit a wall, and you gotta, okay, just pull it back and get some salt water, you know, something like that. I mean, it's an instrument, you know. If I play piano, I'd take better care of my fingers, I guess. But you know, you just watch out. You know, when I go to football games or you know, concerts, everybody go, yeah, and I'm going, yes. So that happens. There you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. All right.
Hi.
Hi there.
I'm Liesel.
Yeah. What's your name?
Liesel.
Oh, fancy.
Thank you. My favorite dessert is rainbow sherbet ice cream.
Ooh. With pistachios? Is that the one? No, pistachios don't go in that. Oh, okay.
My question is,
Yeah.
you've been in so many things and worked with so many different people. Are there any voice actors or people behind the scenes that you have not worked with that you would like to?
Gosh.
Or have you just worked with everyone?
Well, Mel Blanc would be nice, God rest his soul, you know. But no, I've been very fortunate. You know, I've worked with a lot of my friends, and a lot of my friends have worked with me, and you know, and it's kind of fun, you know. I don't. Is there anybody that I want to work with? Did you say?
Yeah.
Um.
On your bucket list.
Gosh. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Well, you perhaps, if you ever come up with a gig, I'd love to be there.
No, then I'll let you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Let me think. I can't. I don't know. I would say Robin Williams. I kind of did work with. God rest his soul. He was so amazing. But I kind of did work with him. He was the in Aladdin. You know, we did Aladdin 1, and that was Rasul, the big bully, you know, guy. And then for Aladdin 2, it was Dan Castellaneta. And then what happened, who's amazing, you know, Homer Simpson. We all, you gotta love Dan, right? And so we did that, and it made a lot of money, and Robin said, oh, you know what, I think I'll do the third one. I'm a single little cartoon man, I'm back. You know, and so he came back in, and he ad-libs like everything. And I ad-lib a lot. This is my Robin Williams story, God rest his soul. You know, he's in there, and they had to draw him back in, get him back in to do some pickups, because he was interviewing Rasul. He was a fake attorney. Remember, Genie would turn into a judge or, you know, a lawyer. And he was, you were there, I know that too. But he said something and it didn't match, so they had to call him back in and rematch because they wanted to keep mine. And so he goes, all right, yes, of course. And, well, that's the last question I'm going to answer. Little funny cartoon man voice. And he reached over and grabbed it. I don't know how he convinced him to do this, and he grabbed Rasul by the toes, rolled him up like a Venetian blind, and made him disappear. And he goes, now, where were we? And I was out of the movie. But I got in there long enough to piss off Robin Williams, so I got that going for me. Yeah, not many people aggravating him, I'm sure. I'm so lucky. But thanks for asking. Thank you. Hey, there he is. All right.
My name is Tate. My favorite ice cream is strawberry flavored.
Well, it doesn't have to be ice cream.
I guess that's true. It's just my favorite dessert overall.
Oh, okay, well, let you off then. All right, thank you.
And ever since I was a kid, there were two main movies I would watch every day. Those were Cars and Winnie the Pooh. And I was going to ask you what.
I'm sorry, I wasn't in Cars. You'll have to quit watching.
My question is, what is your favorite Winnie the Pooh line?
Blah, blah. Oh, wait, that's it. No, I don't know if I have a favorite, but everybody seems to like that one.
Thank you.
And it worked. Okay, thanks, pal. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
So my name is Michael, and just to shake things up.
Feifel?
Michael.
Oh, wow, I thought you said Feifel. Was it an American
My
time?
parents named me
You don't look Russian. Okay. Yeah, could be.
And
Yes.
to shake things up, I will go with my roots and say my favorite dessert is Japanese mochi.
Ooh, nice.
So my question is, I've been listening to a lot of voice actors this con, and you have one of the most impressive resumes I've seen. But behind the scenes, what are the most unusual or weirdest things that you've had to voice, whether they be characters or sound effects?
Ooh. Well, let's think. I usually did a lot of weird stuff for Animaniacs. I wasn't one of the three, but I was in like a ton of them. And one of my favorites was the Animaniacs somehow went to Ireland, and I'm known to be Irish American, and so they had a character in there that his Irish accent was so strong, even when he was speaking English, that no one could tell what he was saying. So they said, "Let's get Jim." And so I show up, and next thing I know, I'm sitting around there for 3 hours going, "Well, the face of food, it is Satan, in the Flugen, in the Titanic." Oh, and I did that for like an hour and a half, and everybody loved it. I said, "Oh, that was great." Nobody could understand the damn word I said, which was fun. So that was interesting, but that was like a fun one. And then I'm going to give you a little test here. I got called to do this. It was a Stephen King movie. Stephen King, gotta love Stephen King. And this is a long time ago, maybe like 30 years. And Cujo had just come out and made a big splash. So he was red hot. And then he sold this movie called, hopefully no one claps, The Mangler. Nice. No one's. And they decided, well, let's get Jim for the voice of the Mangler. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. It was like a gigantic laundry, dry cleaning facility that had a press in it that was big enough, like, to iron your clothes and flatten out your shirts and everything. Well, this one could do a circus tent. It was so big. And it was over there, and it was in this industrial revolution made like in the 1920s, and it was, in fact, the guy from Silence of the Lambs, the bad guy, he was the owner of it, and he operated the machine, and I'm pretty sure I ate him. And people would come over and try to hang out by the machine, and put in the tents to be flattened, and the thing would eat them, pull them in and eat them, but it was supernatural, so it didn't leave a lot of blood, so nobody knew. Everybody thought, where's Lois? Well, she's, mangled. And it just kept on going, and the movie kept on going, and I thought, this is really the worst thing ever. And so I told my agent, can you just tell them, like, double? Because that way they'll get somebody else, and they go, okay. Crap. Now I had to do it, see? I was stuck. So, and one of the voices was like, and the other one was, and then they would put that on top, and I forget the third one. But they did it, and I thought, God, and then, I went to see it finally. I didn't even go to the premiere. And I went to, it was in CB Valley. I remember going, well, I guess I should go see this thing, I'm in the damn thing. I'm the title character, technically. And so I go there and I watch it. It was every bit as bad as I thought. And then in the end, it says, voice of the Mangler, Tim Cummings. And I went, yes! How about that Tim, huh? Is he Dos Mucho? Hey, that Tim. Ooh, you want mangled? Call Tim. So that was a fabulous story of my worst gig.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to sing a mango.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, good question. Yes, Mr. Ball.
Yes, I'm David Deister, and my favorite dessert is cookie dough ice cream.
Oh boy, cookie dough ice cream, very popular around here.
Well, everyone knows you're famous for Pooh and Tigger, but you also voiced Dr. Eggman in Sonic Sat AM.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, but it was Robotnik for our iteration. I think Eggman was another. Thanks for bringing it up. Next question. I'm kidding.
If you were given the chance to come back to the Sonic the Hedgehog to voice Eggman, would you jump at the chance for a game or cartoon to voice him?
For the right money. They paid me as much as Jim Carrey. I could probably be persuaded. Why? Do you have some information you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
I guess I could Baldy McNose hair.
Whoa, that's pretty good. Who was that?
Well, that was Roger Craig Smith's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, of course. Well, good job. Well, Jaleel is shaking in his boots, right? Well, who's the new Sonic? I don't even know.
Ben Schwartz.
Oh yeah, Ben Schwartz? He's pretty good. Yeah. Very fast.
Would you give the chance to voice him again in the video games?
Sure, yeah, if they call. You know.
Okay, then I guess I'll.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe you can make a phone call, get me in, you know? Thanks, pal. Thank you. All right. Hello, sir. I know this dude.
Hello, my name's Michael. One of my
Yes.
favorite, well, I have too many favorite desserts, but one of them is homemade apple pie.
Nice.
It's
Which
been
home?
on the load.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I'm also an impressionist, but my question is, well, if you have any...
No, you gotta give us some impressions now. Oh, that's a good one.
Well, actually, one of them, going off a dark wing, my all-time favorite Terror of the Fox in the Night was this one time, the episode starts with him in a dream, and he says, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the weirdo who sits next to you on the bus. So I am a small persist.
Okay. That was pretty darn good. I better watch my butt, huh?
My repertoire is huge. Well, anyway, my question is, do you have any stories about working on Rescue Rangers as well as working with Paul Winchell at all?
Gosh, yeah, I know, I've got a million of them. But yeah, Paul was a great guy. You know, he was a bit of a mentor to me. You know, and I just, I remember telling him, and his daughter April is a good friend of mine, April Winchell.
A lover.
And as far as Paul, you know, I was just crazy to meet him. I couldn't believe I got to work with him. You know, because when I was a little kid, he had a show called Paul Winchell, Jerry Mahoney Show. And, you know, he was a ventriloquist, gifted. He had Knucklehead Smith and Jerry Mahoney. And I read his book, and I can remember I was about 7 or 8 years old, and they told me, Paul was saying you gotta hold your teeth together and say hello and try not to move your lips, and you look really stupid. And I remember doing that when I was sitting upstairs, and the next line Paul wrote was, "You have just made your first ventriloquistic sound," and I went, and she said, "I know, honey. Try it. Stop now. Just calm down. Give him some chocolate." But Paul got a kick out of that story, and he was a great guy. You know, he was a mentor for me, and he was very gracious. He toward the end of his life, you know, I was already Winnie the Pooh. We were doing the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, late '80s, and he had a stroke. God bless him. And you know, you could tell. And he told me, he said, "I'm going to retire now." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And he goes, "It means I want you to take care of my little buddy for me." And I went, "Oh my God." So I think I made it out to the car before I started bawling, you know, and so I've been taking care of him ever since. Thanks for asking. Yeah, thank you. He's a great guy. Thank you. Was that it? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I did ask if they have a favorite Rescue Ranger story.
Oh, a Rescue Ranger story? Oh, what about Monterey Jack or?
Well, working on it in general.
Oh, working on it in general? Well, yeah, actually. There was, everybody remember the movie African Queen? It was like in the 40s, I think. Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Humphrey Bogart and I think Katharine Hepburn. Well, they kind of did a takeoff on that, and Tailspin. And Monterey Jack, or was it, no, I'm sorry, not Tailspin, Rescue Rangers. And Monterey Jack, and of all people, Carol Channing were going down, and he was
ooh, I can imitate her as well.
Yeah, that's her. That's her. And it was interesting. And so she was playing her part, and I was Monty. And she wore I don't even know what it would be, a crinoline. It was an outfit. It was a dress, you know, and it had big pads under the shoulders. It was the '80s, and it had like 15 watches and beads on this thing and all around her neck. And she sat there, it just moved and moved. And she sounded like a tambourine sitting next to her. And they go, oh, Miss Channing, I'm sorry, can you not do that? Well, should I take them off, sweetie? You know, that's actually a pretty good Carol Channing. And she would take them off and put them down, and then she would have a little less sound, but she still sounded like somebody ruffling a sheet in the wind. And so he said, I'm sorry, man. It's just, I have to ask you not to move your arms. And the engineer's dying, you know, because he has to ask Carol Channing to quit being Carol Channing. And she said, oh, don't worry, sweetie. And she stood up, took off her top. and so she's standing there in her bra. And she's like, right here. And I'm going, oh, okay. And she's got these big giant puffs of cotton. Oh, this is marvelous. Now I can do it, sweetie. Let's go. And I'm going, oh, man. You know, so I'm going, well, okay, you know. So that was my Carol Channing story.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. That's a visual for you.
Oh, thank you. I just want to say to you, as Carol Channing, as a recreation.
All right, how about doctors? Try to listen to this. Thank you very much.
You are dos mucho. Good for you, pal. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allie. My favorite dessert is anything like chocolate, like dark chocolate especially.
Chocolate's really pulling ahead here today. What do you think?
I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for being a part of my childhood. I know a lot of people probably tell you that, but for me personally, it was especially during my formative years as a really young child that I think your voice was just a huge part of. So I wanted to thank you for just being a part of that. Because my dad had, I have old stuffed animals of Winnie the Pooh that we used to kind of help me socialize and learn how to speak because I'm on the spectrum. So yeah, I just really wanted to thank you for being part of that.
Thank you so very much for sharing that. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm not a dessert person. I like salty food better.
You like who?
Salty food.
Salty food. All right. Well, give us your salty food. If it's potato chips, I'm going to be furious.
It's French fries.
Okay, well, let's just scoot on that one. All right. I knew you were going to say that. No, I didn't. Okay. So what's happening?
First of all, just, wow, I never thought I'd meet you.
Aw. Well, now you're underwhelmed. Now that I've ruined it for you, what else is
Amazing. I wanted to ask, you were talking about Paul Winchell earlier, what was it like to take over Sterling Holloway and Paul Winchell's just being these legacy characters, and then in the future, who will take over years now? In DuckTales 2017, they had Chris. I cannot pronounce his last name. Greek. Doing Darkwing
Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I didn't know what to think about that. But as far as what was it like to take? The first part was what was it like taking?
What was it like taking over them, and is it
Well, gosh, for me, it was like a privilege. It was a privilege. It was an honor. Sterling, God rest his soul. He had retired. He was quite old. At the time, even in the 80s. I think he was in his 90s, and so oddly enough, I many years before I was even in the business, I was down in Laguna Beach and heard this little voice coming over from the waitress asking someone in the booth, couldn't see who it was, And have we decided what will happen? And then you hear this voice, I believe I will have the child. And I went, you know, and my wife goes, so I went, and there was Sterling, you know, and speaking of him, that always reminds me of that story, and I kicked myself for not going up and saying hi. I didn't go up and say hi, because, you know, you think you're gonna bug somebody, and, hey, I'll eventually take over your job. I had no idea, you know, because what do you say? And what was the other part?
Oh, just,
Or was
that was
there
it,
another
just
part?
like,
Oh, okay.
what is like taking over these characters.
Yeah, well, you know, I felt like, I do feel like it's an honor, and I just, I think of it as bringing those characters forward to another generation, you know, because it's kind of timeless. You could be 2 or you could be 200 and like the 100-acre wood, you know, I do.
You were basically my Pooh and Tigger, so.
Yeah, oh, well, thanks. I hope I don't ever let you down.
No.
Okay, thanks a bunch. Thank you. Hello there.
Hi, my name is Lily, and my favorite dessert is chocolate cake.
Ooh.
And what's your favorite character to dress up as?
Oh, to dress up as?
Yeah.
Well, when I go to bed, I'm kind of dressed like Tarzan. But I don't look, nobody thinks I look like Tarzan. That's my wife, she'll tell you. It's tough to look at. No, I guess I don't dress up too much anymore. But when I was a kid, and I would go Halloweening, when I was, you know, trick-or-treating, I was Casper, Friendly Ghost.
Aww. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Aww.
I feel better. Thanks, Ruby. Will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Will you grow up and stay sweet as honey?
Yeah.
And don't forget to keep on posting.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I won't forget you. None of us will. Thanks. All right. Can we get any cute kids instead? I mean, you know, man. My goodness gracious. What a heartbreaker. Hello.
My heart grin. Hello. I'm Chantel, and I'm a cake person as well. But I like experimenting with cake flavors. So I can't choose a favorite cake flavor.
Do you like marble?
I do like marble.
How about Boston cream pie?
Oh, I love Boston.
Oh,
I
me
like the
too.
Forest donuts.
I mean, it's my favorite cake, and it's a pie.
Yeah. I like tea flavored cakes. Yeah. Anyways, my question that I was originally thinking of came up 2 questions ago.
Oh.
So now I'm going to ask a different question.
Okay.
I was wondering, you're immortalized through film and your voice consistently everywhere. And I was wondering what it's like to be immortalized in theme parks.
I don't know. I never thought of it. Are you sure I am?
Yeah.
But I mean, like with Hondo and.
Yeah, I'm a big Disney fan, and especially of the theme parks. So I go in and I'm like, oh, that's his voice, and that's his voice.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I've been to Disneyland. Not recently, but it's weird. It's interesting to me because you kind of forget. You know, you do those, and it's not like they're on TV or anything. You don't, or in a movie, you don't see them. And I'll hear my voice coming across something in Disneyland, and I'm close to becoming Splash Mountain. Y'all ever remember Splash Mountain? Apparently, I don't know if they're going to do this. They're going to turn it into the Princess and the Frog ride. Did you know that too? Yeah. So I haven't been contacted, but that'll be my 3rd attraction because Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. If you guys feel like coming by, I'll promise you I'll give you a ride in my friend Han Solo's ship. He won't be there. Just keep that between us. He doesn't need to know. And the Pooh ride, and so if I get that one, it'll be my 3rd. So it's kind of cool to be immortalized, if that's the right word. I'm immortalized till they get a new ride. And then I'm not so immortal anymore. But I'll take it while it lasts. Yeah, I'll take it while it lasts. You bet. So it doesn't suck.
Well, thank you. very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. All right. Yes, sir. Oh, the Mandalorian. All right, Mando.
I'm Fernando. Favorite
Yes.
dessert is probably ice cream of any kind.
Okay.
But I want to ask, since in the DuckTales reboot you were teased as Megaduck,
Mm-hmm.
would you, and you also made the little cameo at the end of the Rescue Rangers movie that came out recently, would you be open to a DuckTales, or I mean, sorry, a Darkwing reboot?
I don't think so, citizen. They'd have to find someone else. Yeah, actually, I would. Thanks for asking. And yeah, and you know, I think somebody in here, like all of you, should write a letter and say, "Where's Darkwing?" I'll tell you what. If they call, I'll be there, and I'll thank you. Thanks, buddy. Hello.
Hi, I'm Mallory.
Yes.
I'm not really a sweets person, but if I had to choose, I'd pick angel food cake.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorites now with the
Heck yeah.
strawberry and whipped cream on it.
Yeah.
So I had a question, but I don't know if I can ask it. So I really just wanted to thank you for everything, like someone else did, because you were a big part of my childhood. Along with Jodie Benson, Dick Van Dyke, all those people. I watched The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh growing up a lot on VHS. So
Yeah.
you are definitely one of my heroes, and I just want to thank you for everything, making my childhood what it is.
Oh, that's great. Well, don't grow up. Take your time.
I'm a Disney girl at heart forever. So,
Oh.
but actually, I did think of a question.
Yes.
If you had to pick one favorite voice, because you've done so many, what would be your favorite voice to do for?
Well, you know, I can't do it. It's like if you have a bunch of kids. Who's your favorite kid? But Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing, Taz is way up there, and Ray from Princess and the Frog, and Hondo. Hondo and Microsoft.
Well, thank you so much. You're amazing.
Half dozen. Well, bless your heart. Thank you very, very much. Hello.
Hi again.
All right.
So since I said my first favorite dessert earlier, I guess my second one would be the crust of the. I think I'm nervous.
No.
Brownie crust. Okay.
What is it?
Brownie crust. Just the crust of
Ooh.
the brownies. That's my favorite part.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
No.
Have you got any with you?
No.
Oh, fine.
Yes. Okay, so the
Yes.
question now is, so I know you have like a massive resume, but do you at all remember doing some of the minor voices in King of the Hill, like Hawks, for instance?
Yeah, I remember that. That show was a lot of fun. I probably did maybe 4 or 5 of them. I don't know, but I always ended up. I remember playing kind of like mushmouth characters. Well, I just going on over there and you there and kill and not this Bobby, if you get on down and cut. Oh hell, get off there, boy. You know, and I always played a guy like that who did. What'd he say? What'd he say? You know, and so but Mike liked it. Everybody liked it, so it was a lot of fun. And that was a pretty good, cool show.
Yeah, and whenever you come up, because it's my favorite show, so whenever you come up, I'm always like, oh yeah, you're there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's funny because they're just such minor characters sometimes you
Yeah.
don't expect it.
Yeah, they run in and they say, that bag's full of duty, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah, that was my big signature.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks a bunch. Hey, oh, here she is. And that hedgehog?
Hi, I'm Christy Kuhn, and my favorite dessert is always Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I could either buy it from
Another
the
cup
expensive place like See's Candies, or buy it at the gas station, which has cheap as like $5 or $2.
Gourmet heaven.
Yeah, but it's very, very gourmet heaven at See's Candies. You can never go wrong with
See's Candies, ain't it the truth?
Yeah, this is the nicest Reese's Peanut Cups you can find, and it's going to be.
I like the turtles. I like the turtles.
You like the turtles?
Yeah. I don't, not actual turtles, I mean, that's what the, anyway, go ahead.
Okay, do you like peppermint candies, Jim C's candies? Do you like peppermint?
I'm not a big peppermint chocolate guy.
My favorite is the peanut butter.
Oh, well, there you go.
Just that's
that
my favorite.
explains the Reese's connection.
You know, yeah. And G-State's candies, it's called peanut butter patties, not Reese's. But at the gas station, it's called peanut butter
Are
patties.
you leading to an E.T. joke? Okay, that's enough. Okay. Okay, so what's your question?
What was it like to be the Dr. Robotnik at Sonic the Hedgehog Saturday AM show?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Jaleel was a nice guy. He was great. You know?
Yeah, I met Jaleel White actually at the Fan Nights convention last year. He was a cool guy. I got a photo op.
Yeah.
In my costume.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, did you wear that?
Yeah, I wore the same costume.
Oh man, did he
Yeah.
like chase you around, or did you chase him, or I don't know. That's amazing. Well, good for you.
I would chase him around if he was, running away or something at the convention.
Oh, okay. Dab that hedgehog.
So, okay, so in a heartbeat, would you like to work with Jaleel White being Dr. Robotnik and Sonic in the future, or would you get paid to be Sonic and Dr. Robotnik in the future if Jaleel White wanted to be Sonic again?
Well,
You being Dr.
I
Robotnik?
like the part where you said if I got paid, and so the answer would
Yeah,
have to
if you get
be
paid.
a vast yes. He hasn't been calling me like he used to, though. That's, but sure, yeah, maybe you should make a phone call or write a letter or something, post something, and I'll be. If they call, I'll answer. I'll tell them you sent me.
Okay. Can you dress as Dr. Robotnik and I can dress up as Sonic at some time in the future?
No.
Great. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was having a good autograph from you too.
Oh, same here. Thanks so much. Hello.
My name is Kira, and my favorite dessert is pecan pie with whipped cream.
Now see, that's good stuff. Yes, I was a paper boy, and every day when I passed the dollhouse, I would take a tip or two, because it was like 50 cents back in the Middle Ages, and I'd get a slice of pecan pie. So I'm with you. I love it.
Good stuff.
Okay, then let's just talk about pecan pie for a while, because, the rest is just, anyway, you probably had something else on your mind.
So you were also a big part of my childhood growing up since I was born. I've been a huge fan of Pooh and those movies, I've seen every one of them. So thank you for being a part of that. But my question is, being the voice of Pooh and Tigger, was it hard making those movies to keep the characters separate while you were going through the scripts and using your voice? Was it hard to change your voice going through each of the characters?
We're schizophrenic, and so are we. So, no. But I'll tell you, when I first started doing both of them, because I started off just as Pooh, and then I would pinch hit when Paul Winchell, God bless him, he was going back and forth to Africa trying to cure hunger, if you can believe that. He was an amazing guy, like a Renaissance man, like Da Vinci or something. And so I'd be Tigger Light, I joked around, and what, I'm sorry, what the question, refine it for me? What was it like? Because I didn't do both at first. And
Well, when you did, was it difficult when you were reading through the scripts to keep the two characters' voices separate?
Yeah, I used to go back and forth, like, oh, bother, well, don't be ridiculous, and then it kind of, I didn't like it because it kind of bled over. So I just asked a small favor, and it would have been very similar had that been two people. Let me just do all of Winnie the Pooh's lines first, and then do all of Tigger's lines, so you keep the integrity, keep them separated. That's the thing of it. Because as somebody pointed out to me years and years ago, he goes, everybody, Rabbit and Gopher and Piglet and everybody, and Pooh and Tigger, they all sound like a bunch of old men sitting around there going, yeah, I guess they were. You didn't think of them that way, but But I just wanted to make sure they sounded different. And they, of course they do, but you know what I mean. In my head, they kind of sounded alike. And that's all we really did. I just do all the Pooh and then all the Tigger.
Thank you.
And the rest is mystery. Thanks, thank you. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wow. Hello.
My name's Abby, and my favorite dessert is red velvet cake.
Oh yeah. With the vanilla-ish ice cream?
Like cream cheese
icing?
frosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Ooh, I hate that. Do you have any with you? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yes.
When popped into my head while I was sitting there with my dad, when you said Pooh, I've been playing the Kingdom Hearts games recently, and I was gonna ask you, what was your favorite memory, when you did the voices for Pooh and Pete and all of them?
Kingdom Hearts?
Any of them.
Oh gosh, the paycheck. No, it was a lot of fun. Those were weird, because video games are odd because you're reacting to you just go through character to character to character, and you're reacting to stuff that no one says, and you're kind of in a vacuum. And I used to have, it was nice to have people read you in, for the line, but sometimes it didn't work as well as others. They'd say, "Oh bother, I have to go," and I go, "Okay, never mind, don't read me in." It's But it was an odd discipline. I'm not a big fan of doing video games, but as long as everybody else likes them, they sure seem to sell a lot of them. So if I could invent a video game, I sure would. That's for sure. But yeah.
Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Miles. My favorite dessert is banana cream pie.
Oh, nice.
So my question is, out of all the Winnie the Pooh movies that you voiced, which one was your favorite? Like a live action or a Tigger movie or another one?
Oh boy, that's tough. Pooh's Grand Adventure was pretty nice, pretty darn nice. I like the ones with beautiful songs. I like singing, and gosh, yeah, Pooh's Grand Adventure. The Tigger movie was a heck of a lot of fun, and then Winnie the Pooh, which a lot of people thought was a remake because they just named it Winnie the Pooh. It sounded like In a Blustery Day, but that was like 10 or whatever years ago, and that was I really enjoyed that movie. And then honestly, Christopher Robin was one of my favorites. I knew it was going to happen, and I still got misty. I was like, poor Pooh, and I go, "Shut up, you idiot! It's you." Well, how about your favorite? What was yours?
Personally, for me, I liked the Tigger movie. That's one of my favorites. But seeing Christopher Robin again made me feel like I was 10 years old.
Oh yeah. And Ewan was a great guy. He was a good sport. Pooh, So yeah, it was hard for me to fit into that costume. It was really tight. Really tight. And then the Tigger with the tail was rough, but I'm glad you liked it.
Just one more question.
Yes.
So you like singing, some like Pooh's that sing it. Do you still sing Pooh's exercise song?
Every morning. I might have made that up. But my wife does, oddly enough. Don't touch the ground. Thanks. Thank you so much. Hello. Oh, somebody didn't moisturize.
It's just a flesh wound.
It's a flesh wound.
Oddly enough, with Lily, that one's mine.
Oh, okay.
so, no resemblance, right? Anyway, I'm Kat. My favorite dessert is banana cream pie.
Yes.
My question is kind of almost like a two-parter of do you often ever go and see look up videos and things of people who do the voices of the characters that you used to, like the new Broadway show that's come out with Winnie the Pooh. The voice actors are phenomenal. I don't know if you ever go look them up, and if you do, how do you feel about them?
Oh gosh, you know, it would be so cool to see that. I've been traveling very much. Is this still going?
I think so, yes.
Oh yeah? How cool is that? How do they sound?
Really, really good.
I hate them.
I mean, no candle to you, but still.
No, okay, I like it now. You said the right thing. No, I think it'd be a gas. I wasn't sure if they were going to try and like sort of duplicate the established character voices, or if it, you know, because there was a British guy who years and years ago, and he would read A.A. Milne's voice, and he would sort of go like this for Pooh, and he would sort of go like this for Tigger. It was like, okay, that's the same guy. One little quick side of it, and then Piglet came up and said, well, I have to go, Piglet. And he would do that, like before and after, and I go, stop doing that. It was just weird, but not the same vibe. Hopefully they don't do that on Broadway.
Do you like, if you do see the videos and stuff like that, like online or like TikTok or something, do you like to see the people who do the voices as well?
Yeah, I get a kick out of it, as long as they don't do them very well. No.
Don't want to replace you too soon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it's fun. Thank you. Thanks. Let's go.
My name's Jim. My favorite dessert is tiramisu.
Oh, sure.
My question is, you've got an extensive resume of voices and characters. I've just finished going through Mass Effect again. I noticed you did Patriarch. Who's a big Krogan warlord guy. And then what you do Winnie the Pooh? Where do you go to get characters? Because they're so radically different.
Where do I dig up the character voices? Boy, I don't know. That's a good question. Well, if it's something you're doing an impression of, you just want to do an impression, you know, but that obviously wasn't one of them. You know, there's different ways to do bad guys. You know, I got a lot of bad guys for some reason. Pooh and then mess up bad guys. But you know what I've done in the past is, well, I'll give you an example. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We all heard them. In the original one, I was a character named Leatherhead, and he was a Cajun alligator who, you know, got mutated like the turtles did, and he was a talking alligator. Well, in my case, see, I used to be a deckhand on a riverboat in New Orleans when I was a kid, and the first guy, my first captain was a guy named Léonce Leblanc, and he was from Thibodaux, Louisiana. And when he talked like this is the way he talked. Man, I can tell you, boy, you get out there on that ball magic. And I go, I'm so sorry, what the hell did you just say? Yeah, and it still buzzes my throat. And so they said they wanted him to sound like a Cajun alligator. So I just did him, you know, and because my philosophy is if you do a perfect impression of somebody that nobody knows, new character. And if you do a terrible impression of somebody that everybody knows, they have no idea who you're doing, new character. And so I've been known to do that a lot. Like Hondo Nog. Does everybody know Hondo? Hondo Nog? Come on, that's awesome. Well, he's, because I've done this before too, put two characters together in your head. Now, it would be a hell of a quiz to, if anybody, nobody's ever come up with it, but it's two very famous character actors put together, and anybody take a guess who Hondo is put together? I get that one a lot, but it's Charles Bronson, and I forget the other guy. I swear to God, that's terrible. But anyway, Hondo Ohnaka is two guys put together. Yul Brynner from the QnA. Anybody remember him? So I put the two of them together. I actually remember. But you know, that's like a little trick that I do to kind of cover your tracks. Because you don't want to sound too much like somebody, but you want to sound like somebody. Great, thank you. I don't know if that answered your question, but it was fun. Thanks. Hey, hello.
So my name's Carson, and I like cheesecake, specifically like strawberry cheesecake.
Of course.
And my question was, when you first started voice acting, did you ever think that you would be here today?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that was like 1984, and I went, Phoenix, 2022 sounds good. No. In a nutshell, no. I just, honestly, you know, my friend Townsend Coleman, one of the Turtles, great guy. We've actually talked about this a long, long time ago. He's from Cleveland, I'm from Youngstown. And, you know, we had a conversation very early on, and my whole goal was if I could make a living doing it, okay. You know, and you know, at the time, you didn't have to make a ton of money like you do now, you know, but it was like, well, if I could just make like, I don't know, $50,000 a year, I could squeak by, that would be great and everything, and now I do make $50,000 a year, a little more. But it was just, it's just a blessing, you know. I always joke around and say it's the stuff that used to get me kicked out of class. I never, you know, to make a living at it is a blessing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really love Ray in Princess of the Frog.
You love who?
Ray, it's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, good.
Princess of the Frog.
Well, the women love a man with a big backbone.
Yes, right. Hey, there he is.
Yeah. It's
I
me.
I seem to remember you from somewhere.
So, well, I guess since I'm back here, I'll just tell you another one of my favorite desserts is Jello.
Jello?
Yeah, coconut. I think they call it coconut cake or coconut Jello. I had it when I had dim sum.
Oh, is this the one where there's like grapes floating around and pineapple?
Yeah, that's almond Jello, but they have this other one that's more like coconut. It smells like a cake.
Wow, so someone does eat that, huh?
What kind of dessert do you like? You've been asking us this.
What kind of dessert do I like? I like homemade fudge, you know? And yeah, brownies. You can't go wrong with a brownie, you know, with a hunk of ice cream on top.
No honey.
Yeah, what's that?
Not honey.
No, my ice cream. It wouldn't be kosher.
I do have a question, but as I was standing in line, I just remembered that you were also one of my favorite 90s kids cartoons. You were in the Spider-Man animated series, the 90s Spider-Man animated series. You were the shopper, I think, and I saw your name in the credits.
Yeah.
Like Winnie the Pooh was the shopper.
Yeah, and it was Hammerhead in the last iteration, like about 10 years ago.
Spectacular Spider-Man?
Yeah, what's that?
Spectacular Spider-Man?
There was another Spider-Man that was about maybe 10, 12 years ago. I don't know if it was as big as the first one, but yeah, I was Shocker.
Wow. So, I love Christopher Robin.
Oh, good, thank you.
It's one of my favorite movies, and
Me too.
I kind of feel like watching it again when I get home. So.
Oh, good.
But I think it was one of the best live-action Disney movies I've seen, and I was wondering if you could share some thoughts on, because they're doing so many live-action Disney movies, sometimes they're remakes, sometimes they're reboots or sequels, and I just wanted to hear your thoughts on how you think the live-action Disney renaissance should go.
Gosh, I don't know. I kind of like it. Some of them work better than others. You know, as much as I love Lion King, I love being in it, obviously, but the second one, it was kind of like, I don't know. And we were making Christopher Robin, and the same people were responsible for doing, for making Lion King, and they go, and they enjoyed this comment. They were doing Jungle Book was another one, you know, and they were going, well, it's live action, and genius that I am, I said right in the middle of all the people who did it, well, it's not really live action, I mean, it is CGI, I mean, the kid's live. Everybody's looking at me like, I mean, it was really amazing the way they had those animals trained. Live action, yeah, oh, excuse me, I have to leave. Yeah, so that was rewarding. Thanks for bringing it up.
So we are going to go ahead and cut it there. We have an hour, so.
Okay. Can we ask that little girl and that young girl? We just sneak around real quick. Sure. The one in the back.
What's your favorite flavor of C's candies? Because mine's butterscotch.
That, I don't blame you. That's pretty doggone good. I like the turtles, you know, with the caramel and the pecan and the chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them in my back pocket right now. And yes, young lady who I don't know.
Hello, my name is Lulu, and I like cookies.
Yes, you do.
Yes. And I was wondering, since you've never been in a Pixar movie, if you got asked to, would you go?
Don't you love that my own daughter stands up here and asks me this terrible question? That's Lulu, everybody. She's my daughter. And there's Gracie. She's my other daughter. Aww. And there's Margaret. She's my wife. Hooray, hooray for the Cummings girls. And I'm sorry, what was the question? Rubbing in that I've never been in a Pixar movie? No, I would hate it. No, if they call, I will go. And will you come with me to the premiere?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. So I got that going for me.
I have one more. Who's
Oh,
your
fine.
favorite daughter?
And I guess we'll cut it there. But he does have a booth downstairs. Again, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, come on down and say hi at the table, and I'll be healing the sick and blessing you all, and it'll be
I
amazing.
believe you're here till Sunday.
I am here till Sunday.
There you go. Again, let's give a big
Thanks,
round of
everybody.
applause.